Hey everyone, welcome to Show It Better. My name is Steven. I am the creator of Show It Better, and in today's video we are going to see how to create a color palette for your architectural illustrations using Photoshop and Illustrator. So let's start. Okay guys, so for those of you that don't know me, my name is Steven. I'm the creator and the voice behind all of these tutorials. I'm trying a new format and I thought, why not? So let's talk about color palettes. So for those of you that don't know, a color palette is a scheme or a group of a set of colors that, you know, if we get very specific and methodical, they have different categories from chromatic, from monochromatic, from triadic colors. There are people that are specialized in creating color palettes. We as architects maybe aren't that experts in this subject. We just sometimes, when we create an architectural illustrations, we just select maybe the green for the grass and red and blue for the different surfaces, etc., etc. So we don't have a really good idea of how to use our colors in our illustrations. And the important thing is, when we start to learn how to use our colors, a different set of colors, when we have a specific color palette for our architectural presentations, projects, our project gets a lot of more character, it gets more life, and it looks way much better. So in this video, we're going to see how to create a color palette. And this is not something that I invented by any means. It is something that I saw by a color theorist, a color specialist, if you will, named Greg Gunn. So if you guys want to follow him, his name is Greg Gunn. You can follow him at Gunn Greg in Instagram, and he posted a while ago some information about how to create your own color palette, and that is the method that we're going to use today. So if you guys want more information on him, more information on if he has, I think a different set of free color palettes, you guys can go and visit his page. It's very awesome. And I think before I start the video, I want you guys to also know the importance of color, like of a consistent color palette. So if you guys use this color palette that we have here in this video, it's important that you also use it in your architecture plans, sections, maybe in your illustrations, in the color of your typography, etc. Right? It's very important that you remain consistent. When you start changing colors, when you use more than 5 different colors, everything starts to look a little bit messy. So I recommend that you use a specific color palette. If you use this method, it will be good. But there are also many other methods of creating color palettes specific for you. I found this one to be very interesting, to be very nice. And if you guys are interested in using the color palettes that we created here, they are available for free. You just have to download them, and in your color palettes in Photoshop, just load them up and you can use the same color palettes that we used here. So let's jump into the okay guys, so here we have our base diagram table that I did using SketchUp and Illustrator and Photoshop. So basically it was very easy. I just exported this in SketchUp, this plan view and this isometric view. Then I put some text in Photoshop. It's nothing, brand new. It's very easy, but I want to put some color on it. So I'm going to create my own custom color palette according to Greg Gunn. So we're going to create a new layer. We're going to call this color palette. Now we're going to we're going to hit M on our keyboard for marquee tool and create a little square over here, and click G on our keyboard for the paint bucket, and go to our color picker. As you guys can see, I clicked over here, and according to Greg Gunn, if I divide this square into 4 little squares, the first color I should choose should be from this top right square, right? So this color is going to be our main color. This is going to be the protagonist, right? So we want to select a color that is, kind of lively. It has a lot of life, and that is kind of saturated as well. So you can select one of these colors. Maybe a pink would look nice. So let's select this one for now and press OK. And we are going to paint on top over here. That is going to be our first color. Now pressing Alt on our keyboard, we're going to drag it to the left and to the right and create a copy of this. And we're going to create the complementary color. So we're going to go again to our color picker. And according to Greg Gunn, if you guys see here, there's an H and there's a number right here, right? If this number is bigger than 180 degrees, then you have to subtract 180 degrees from it. But if it's smaller than 180 degrees, you have to sum up 180 degrees. Let me give you guys an example so you guys don't get lost. Here, this color is 333 degrees, right? Since it's more than 180 degrees, what I have to do is subtract, right? So I'm going to go minus 180, enter. And that is going to be my complementary color. So now let's do the same exercise backwards. So I'm right here and it's 153. So it's less than 180. What do I have to do? I have to do plus 180 and it should give me this exact color. So now I have my main color and I have my complementary color. But since this is my main color, I don't want my complementary color to grab too much attention. So I'm going to drag it down. As you guys can see the circle right here, I'm going to drag it down. I'm going to mute the color just a little bit, make it a little bit darker and a little bit less saturated, and change the color. Now I'm going to grab both of these color palettes and drag them up and drag them down using my Alt key. We're going to create some lighter versions and some darker versions of our colors. So we're going to go to this color first, and we are going to select this color. And what we have to do is desaturate it and make it lighter. So to desaturate it, we have to get it farther from here, and then we have to pull it up. And that is our light version. You can even go a little bit lighter. And for this color, for this shadow color, we could even make this a little bit darker. Okay, so for this shadow color, we could do the same process. Drag it up and drag it to the left. So it could be the lighter version. Now we're going to make the darker versions. For this pink one, we're going to go and drag it down, down. Not black, pitch black, but just right over here. And we want to make it a little bit cooler, so we're going to bring these handles a little bit closer to the blues, just like this. Perfect. And we're going to do the same thing with our greens. So I'm going to drag it down and bring it up because our blue is right here, right? We want to make that shadow a little bit cooler. And finally, what we have to do is let's create a new one. We're going to create a neutral color. So we're going to go over here, and our neutral color is supposed to be on this area right here. So I'm going to select a very soft color, and if we merge all of these together, I would have my color palette, right? So this is a nice color palette. If you want, after you color all your buildings, you could change the color palette or maybe do some variations of it. So what you can do is go to Adjustments, Hue Saturation, apply the Hue Saturation adjustment layer only to this color palette, and start making variations in the hue. So some looks kind of ugly, but some can work. Like for example, this one is a nice variation of that one. This one over here is a nice variation. This one is a nice variation. So we can work with these variations. For now, I'm just going to erase it. After you have this color palette, you're going to want to go to your baseline file. So for example, I have here, my lines are right here. And I'm going to create a system. I'm going to create some rules to color this up, right? That is the second rule to color our architecture diagrams. So for example, I have isometrics right here, and one of my rules can be that I am going to color all the left faces in this dark green and the right faces in this light green, and the roofs in this kind of a purple, right? So what I could do is select Alt and start coloring in. Now I'm gonna select my roof and get the color picker and start coloring in, different tonalities. Obviously, this rule didn't work as much because it doesn't look that interesting. So what we have to do is perhaps be much more strict. So what I propose is, for example, let's go to this one. We're going to color this this building in this variations of yellow and this variations of pink. So let me just get this light pink, and I'm going to color it right here. Let me see. Now I'm going to get the lighter version, and color it on top. Now I'm going to get the darker version, this one. I'm going to color it in the sides, in all the left sides. And I'm going to use this one to color all the right sides. And for this floor, I'm going to use a green, right? So I can use maybe this green, or maybe even this green. Or you know what? Maybe the light green. So this is a nice variation of the color. And if I want to color the floor plan, I can just do the same thing, right? Just color this up very quickly. And just like that, I can have a very, very nice color palette. Now let's do another variation. So let's do it with green, right? So now let's select, for example, this green. Now let's select the middle green and color it right here. And let's color the middle greens over here. And now let's select the darker green and color this face up. And finally, we're going to select one of these pinks and color in the middle. Now I'm going to do the same thing for my floor plan. So as you guys can see, we're starting to have some very nice colors just from this color palette. You could also go only monochromatic, like if you didn't want to mix these colors. You could also just for example, paint these only green. So I could select this one. Now select the darker version. And here I would have only my monochromatic version of these colors, which also look very interesting. And my floor plan, I can do it as well. You see, we have so many options with only this color palette. And let's turn this off. Let's say that you didn't like this color palette, that you want to change it at the end. You can go to adjustments, hue saturation, and start changing the hue. So for example, I could just move this cursor right here, and I would have a totally different color palette that's still very complementary. If I move it more, I can have some very ugly ones, obviously. But I can have some very nice ones. Like for example, let's see, I think we can have two more here. This looks kind of the Joker-ish. So I think we can get about 2 or 3 very nice ones as well. Like this is a very nice color palette. And after this, like for example, this is one of the ones that I already did. After this, you can decide to color your lines white, or you can add more details like these people, and you can have so many variations. I have another variation right here. I have different variations of color which you can change. For example, I want to change the color, etc, 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 etc. So this is very important. Now if you guys download our free color palettes that we have in the description, how you can install them is just go over here, whoops, click on the top and click on load swatches. Now you go to the folder where we saved it, and it's supposed to say show it better color palette 1, 2, 3. So let's select, for example, the color palette 1, and it's supposed to add on over here, and that is this palette right here. Now I can add all of them. Load swatches, color palette number 2, and I have another color palette right here. So we already created some for you guys. I already created some for you guys in case you don't want to use them. And that is it. This is our final result, and I think it looks very, very, very awesome. So what did you guys think? I think it's very, very important to be consistent in these colors. So I think the result was very nice. I really like the result. It's also important that you have also a clean, illustration. It has to be in high resolution. It has to have a clear message. Colors go in line with good presentation. So it all depends on one and the other. So I think if you want to create a color palette, and you can download these, or you can use the same method that Greg Gunn says, and I think it's a very nice method. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and what other video ideas would you like to see. So thank you guys for watching. If you want to watch the whole complete 1-hour video of the creation of this illustration, of this diagram, you can go to our Patreon page and support us. And if not, then it's okay. You can keep on watching more videos here on our channel. I hope you guys like this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.